அப்பா அலை கதை சொல்றேனா?
ஓ சொல்றேனே.
राधे कृष्णा। जय बोलो सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। In the previous story, we actually looked at an interesting incident involving a guru and a shishya, and how the shishya, Aruni, was so dedicated that his dedication and commitment to keep up his guru's words pleased his guru so much, and he blessed him with attaining completion of all knowledge that he wishes to acquire. In today's story, we look at another Shishya within the same ashram and with the same guru, Rishi Ayodha Dhaumya. The name of the Shishya is Upamanyu. One day, Rishi Ayodha Dhaumya asked Upamanyu to go and take care of all the cows and the cattle in the fields. So he told him, "O Upamanyu, from today onwards, your duty and responsibility is to take care of all the cattle and cows from morning, and you have to bring them back to the ashram just around sunset." So Upamanyu is extremely excited, and he takes on to this duty very sincerely and with much happiness. A few days pass, about a week passes, and then one day Rishi Ayodha Dhaumya calls Upamanyu and he wants to talk to him. And so he asks Upamanyu, "O Upamanyu, how do you find this task?" And so Upamanyu is very excited and says, "Dear Guru, very happy doing this duty and performing this kainkariya for you." But then Rishi Ayodha Dhaumya notices something very interesting. And so he asks Upamanyu, "O Upamanyu, you have been now taking care of the cattle and helping them graze in the faraway lands for a week. So you're taking them in the morning, you're around and with them all through the day, you're walking with them, taking care of them, and then you bring them back in the evening. But you look very healthy and plump. Can you please elaborate and tell me what sources of food or nutrition you have?" So immediately Upamanyu is unassuming and answers his guru, "O Guru, once I take the cattle to the cattle field and let them graze, I go and take bhiksha from the nearby houses. I take that bhiksha, I cook and I eat that as food." Then Rishi Ayodha Dhaumya immediately advised Upamanyu, "O Upamanyu, it is okay that you can take bhiksha from the householders that are nearby, but because you are a part of the ashram, your duty is to bring anything that you obtain as bhiksha to the ashram. And then I, who is the teacher for all of you Shishyas, will decide how to share this food amongst all of us. So please follow this suggestion from tomorrow." "Definitely, Guru. I'm very happy to follow this suggestion of yours." So then again, the routine takes over. Another week passes, but then to his surprise, the Guru notices that Upamanyu is still healthy, Upamanyu is still plump. "O Upamanyu, what have you been having for food in this past 1 week?" So Upamanyu immediately responds, "O Guru, because you asked me to bring everything that I obtain as bhiksha to the ashram, the first bhiksha that I take during the day, I collect that and I keep it aside because that is to be brought to the ashram. But then I go on a second round of seeking bhiksha, and whatever I get at that second round, I keep for myself. So I cook that and I eat that every day." The Guru was a little surprised, and he immediately told Upamanyu, "O Upamanyu, we should generally not trouble anybody beyond a certain limit. The householders, the grihasthas, are offering us danam anna as bhiksha so that they can help support us survive. But going repeatedly to them means we are taking their share of the food. They are giving to us out of magnanimous and benevolent heart. Please don't ask for bhiksha more than once." Upamanyu immediately says, "Definitely, Guru. I apologize for the mistake. It won't happen again." Then Upamanyu goes again into taking care of his duties. Roughly another week passes. This is the third week. And now Rishi Ayodhya is even more surprised. So he calls Upamanyu and talks to him. "Oh, Upamanyu, I have clearly told you that you can only obtain bhiksha once, and whatever you obtain as bhiksha, you have to bring back to the ashram. So I am really curious, in spite of making these mistakes, and in the third week now, how are you still so healthy and plump? Can you please tell me what have you been having as food these past few days?" So then Upamanyu immediately obediently answers to his guru, "Dear Guru, I follow your words exactly as you've mentioned. So I only take bhiksha once, and whatever I take as bhiksha, I bring it back to the ashram. I never consume even a single grain of food from that bhiksha. And since you have mentioned, I do not go for more than one round of seeking bhiksha. But as I'm taking care of the cattle and all the cows that are grazing, I take the milk that the cows have and drink a portion of the milk to feed myself and nourish myself." Immediately, Rishi Ayodhya Dhaumya had another suggestion, another word of advice for Upamanyu. "Oh, Upamanyu, a cow's milk is supposed to be for her calves. The mother is trying to feed the child. When you take the milk, you're taking a portion of the feed and nourishment that is supposed to be meant for the cow's child. And that is very wrong. So please don't do that from here onwards." And Upamanyu was immediately obedient as always. And he said, "Oh Guru, apologies. I didn't realize to think of it this way. From today, I will not take the milk from the cows, I promise." Then another week passes. This is the fourth week. Again, Rishi Ayodhya Dhaumya is even more surprised than ever before. So he calls Upamanyu and asks him straight away, "Oh Upamanyu, you look as healthy and plump as you were before you started taking care of the cows at all. Can you please explain to me what have you been having as food in this past week?" And immediately Upamanyu answered, "O Guru, I take bhiksha only once. I bring everything that I take as bhiksha to the ashram. I also don't take the milk from the cow because you clearly told me that milk is supposed to nourish and supposed to be the food for the children of the cow, the calves. After the calves have fed from the cows, there is the remaining froth, what in Tamil we call norai, the froth or the foam. So I only take that from the cow or from the calf. I do not take the cow's milk." But Rishi Ayodhya Dhaumya felt this was not right to do as well. So he spoke to Upamanyu and told him, "Dear Upamanyu, I understand that you have been following my words as much as possible. But when you take the foam or the froth, what you don't realize is that the cow and the calves are getting used to the fact that you are also taking a share of the food. So they start seeing you as also somebody who owns that share. And they will start sharing that amount of food for you." Upamanyu was immediately surprised. He did not realize that there could be this much of thought behind such a simple act. "O Guru, apologies, and this will not happen again." So the Rishi Ayodhya Dhaumya says, "I take your apologies. Please continue your work as you're doing and meet me tomorrow in the evening." So the next day, Upamanyu takes all the cattle, goes to the fields, let them graze, but now he has nothing to eat. So as the day progresses, Upamanyu is feeling extremely tired due to lack of food and lack of nourishment, and he's feeling a huge loss of energy. And so as he's walking the cattle back to the ashram in the evening, he's looking for anything that he can eat, even if he does not know what it is. And on the way back, he notices a bunch of shrubs. So he takes the leaves from the shrubs and starts to eat them. Now he does not realize that this shrub is the Calotropis gigantea, which in Tamil we call the irkampu. The leaves of this flower or shrub secrete poisonous milk, which, if we do not know and come into contact with, can actually blind our eyesight. And that is exactly what happens because Upamanyu is entirely and totally unaware of what the shrub is. He ate the leaves because he was hungry. He does not realize where he is going, but he is walking all the cattle along with him, and without his notice, he falls into a pit, a very deep pit. And he's stuck there because now he does not have any eyesight, so all he can do is wait and call for help if people are nearby. Like I mentioned in the previous story, every day, irrespective of whatever duties the Shishyas or the students are taking care of, they have to assemble back at the ashram in the classroom in the evening. And the students report back to the teacher of the day's proceedings. But it was slowly getting dark, and Upamanyu was nowhere to be seen. So, same like with Aruni, Rishi Ayodha Dhaumya was a little worried about the whereabouts and safety of Upamanyu and took all his students and went in search of Upamanyu. They walk, they walk, they walk, and at a certain point, when Rishi Ayodha Dhaumya calls out for Upamanyu, "Dear Guru, I'm here inside the pit." Rishi Ayodha Dhaumya is surprised. "Oh, Upamanyu, what happened? How did you get inside the pit?" Upamanyu narrates everything that happened that day. Rishi Ayodha Dhaumya is extremely happy, filled with happiness and joy at the dedication and the commitment that Upamanyu has shown towards keeping up and following his guru's words or instructions. So immediately he wishes Upamanyu and tells him, "I bless you that all the knowledge that you want to learn and that you have learned become complete and bear fruit in the best way possible to benefit you. Do you remember in the class you had learned certain Vedic chants on the Ashwini Devas? With utmost devotion to the Ashwini Devas, recite them and keep chanting them." Rishi Ayodha Dhaumya goes back to the ashram taking the cows along with him and with all the other Shishyas. Now Upamanyu is all alone inside the pit, still blind, and he remembers all the Vedic chants that he has learnt earlier. He starts uttering them, praying to the Ashwini Devas. The Ashwini Devas are like the doctors of the Devaloka. So after a certain amount of chanting, they appear in front of Upamanyu and tell him, "O Upamanyu, we are very pleased with your dedication to your Guru, and we are also very pleased with your dedication to us. And so we have appeared in front of you. We have a prasadam for you. Eat this." Upamanyu is extremely pleased, but he responds in a very interesting manner. "O Devatas, my pranams to you. I am extremely grateful and appreciative of the fact that you have presented yourselves in front of me, although I cannot see you. However, I cannot take this prasadam right now. My Guru has mentioned that any food that is offered has to be brought to the ashram. He will decide what share of it goes to any of us. The only thing that matters is my Guru's instructions to me. And so I have to keep up to those instructions. I am happy to take your prasadam as an offering, but I will only consume it if and when and to the amount that my Guru suggests after I take it to the ashram." The Ashwini Devatas are extremely pleased, and so they immediately bless Upamanyu. "O Upamanyu, you have exceeded all of our expectations on how dedicated and how committed a student can be towards his Guru and keeping up his Guru's instructions. We bless that you immediately regain your eyesight." And they disappeared. Now Upamanyu is able to see. He took the prasadam, he went back to the ashram. His Guru asked him, "O Upamanyu, what took you so long?" And so Upamanyu narrated the entire incident that happened after his Guru left with the Ashwini Devatas. And the Guru was even more happy, even more joyful. And he blessed Upamanyu. "O Upamanyu, you have exceeded my expectations and shown how true a dedication and commitment towards the teacher and keeping up the teacher's words can be. My blessings are always with you. Your education is complete." Very interesting story, right? We have seen two back-to-back stories of very difficult situations that are presented to students who are very young. They follow the words and instructions of the Guru exactly, without any compromise at any situation, and they do whatever it takes to fulfill the words and the instructions of the Guru. Beautiful and very inspirational stories for all of us, teaching us how we should be dedicated to follow and take inspiration from the words of all of our teachers. Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Hind. Bharat Mata ki Jai. Radhe Krishna.